I'm going to ask this question. Is Ben Roethlisberger a Hall of Famer, and is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Famer. You can't put up the kind of numbers, that he has and that he'll have, by the time he calls it quits, and not get into the Hall of Fame. But the question, I guess, is who else retires the same year that Ben Roethlisberger retires?
Yeah.
Is it going to be Tom Brady? You know what I mean? Because if it's Tom Brady, no, he may not be. Ben Roethlisberger may not be that first ballot because it's rare, that two quarterbacks go in the same year. So, but again, generalization, I think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he's definitely deserving, of being, of having that distinction for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if they would hold Ben out if they do think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer just because he retires the same year as Tom Brady. I also don't know if Tom Brady is going to retire this millennium.
Yeah, probably not.
So since that's the case, it might not actually matter. But I will say this. I think this is a very interesting metric. Pro Football Reference has a Hall of Fame meter or metric. And right now, you would have to think that if you're going according to this, which obviously the voters don't necessarily do, but I would say if you look at the way guys rank on this list, and we'll show a little bit of it here on the screen, but the way guys rank on this list, you'd have to say there's some rhyme or reason to it. So right now, Ben Roethlisberger's Hall of Fame meter, or so to speak, or statistics is really comparable. And I think the person who is probably the most relatable to him from an overall team success standpoint is Roger Staubach. Now, Roger Staubach only played 10 seasons, and he only spent 8 of them as a starter, but they won the same amount of Super Bowls. They went to the same amount of Pro Bowls. Now, obviously, Roethlisberger threw for way more yards because he's played longer and played in a different era where the ball is being passed more. But if you look at the fact that Roethlisberger is ahead of guys like Kurt Warner, Dan Fouts, Roger Staubach, and one other name that we've been talking about quite a bit today, he is right above Terry Bradshaw on this Hall of Fame metric. So when you consider all of that, you might, it does appear as though Ben Roethlisberger is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I thought it was a very interesting conversation that Cameron Jordan for the Saints had in the locker room, and he was talking about Eli Manning and Roethlisberger and their Hall of Fame, culpability and their place there. I thought it was an interesting conversation, but I mean, people can say what they want, poke at Roethlisberger's this and that, but he's thrown for over 61,000 yards in his career. He's won 2 Super Bowls. He's been to 6 Pro Bowls. He literally has been a starting quarterback for 16 seasons. Yeah, that is a lot. That's pretty significant. So I definitely think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. So
no doubt. And he's only 4 years removed from being the NFL passing yards leader in 2018. So yeah, I mean, I know I say only 4 years, but I think people make it out to sound like he's been washed for years, and that's
it's 2021. You know how that works,
right? Oh yeah, exactly.
Today is forever,
right?
That's just the way it works.